just show and be an example of what good work ethic looks like, and instill be what does being a man mean to me? I would say being able to provide. Yeah, just being able to provide. I think it's very important. I mean, no matter where you stand, like religiously, politically, and everything, I'm speaking on for myself personally. I think
Yeah.
a man should be someone who can be looked at, like someone can look up to. Sorry, I'm getting my
Exactly.
words twisted, but yeah, so if someone can look up to you and be like, "Hey, I want to be like that. I want to be
Yeah.
like that individual." I think that's very important. And then also
Yeah.
someone who can like provide for a family. I think that's very very important. Just show and be an example of what good work ethic looks like, and
Yeah.
instill a good foundation for your kids, your cousins, your nephews, and nieces, anything.
Yeah.
I think that's very important. Just being a fatherly figure. I think that's
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah. Bro, I agree with you 100%. I mean, like, I strongly feel that, the role model piece is very, very important just for the different generations of men. It's like, for me, like, there's a set of men that I look up to that are much older than me. And just the reverse of that is like, I know like my brother, my younger brother, and probably his cohort of friends might look up to me. So it's like it's really important to just have those role models to sort of like guide you that are men. I agree with you. Like part of being a man, it's like your responsibility to be able to provide, be able to protect, be able to care for your loved ones and the things you and people you care about.
Yeah,
Um,
you hit the nail
yeah.
on the head. I agree with every single point that you just stated. Like you answered it better than myself. And
It's all that reading, man.
I
It's all that reading.
for sure,
For
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah. So my next question is, what does Alpha Delta mean to you?
I think it just means like bettering yourself. Like I think
Yeah.
it's like rising to the occasion. Um, just being the best version of yourself you can be. And I think that ties into everything that we've touched on today. Like just ways that you can be better, like at the
Right.
end of the day. Physically, mentally, spiritually, family orientation wise,
Right.
like I think just being the best you can be. Like don't compare yourself to anyone else, but
Yeah.
like maybe you can model yourself after someone that you want to be, but like at the end of the
Mhm.
day, have your own touch to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like that's what I believe. Alpha Delta,
Yeah.
like
Nail on the coffin,
means,
man.
and yeah,
Yeah. Nothing more to say after that. It's a wrap. Yeah. So, final remarks. I think first of all, do you have any questions for me?
yeah. I guess like what is out? Like I know you said I hit the nail on the head, but like Alpha Delta to you, like what like some of the things that you like would recommend to people. Like what are some like values that
Right.
you've applied in your life that have got
Mm,
like that you've seen the growth that you had
mm,
a year ago from now to today? Like, what are some things that
yeah.
you've changed? And
Yeah.
like what has made you better? Like the better version of you from a year ago today.
We go. Yeah. I mean, that's a great question, and I think there's a lot to say. So to give you context, right? My self improvement journey started in 2014. So this was way, way early, like mid high school. And
Mhm.
that's when I started like going to the gym. I started, learning about meditation. I started reading different books, reading different ideas. So like very books that I always talk about a lot that were very influential for me were like, Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad,
Great. Yep.
How to Win Friends and Influence People. Um, these were like very fundamental books that I read like mid high school that really like just set me on this path of just like, just improving, trying to get better. So over all these years of just like, accumulating all this experience and activities, I realized that there's not a lot of avenues or challenges of people sort of just sharing this information. Because a lot of this stuff, like, people just keep it private. You don't really like
Hmm.
open about it. There's no public space. And honestly, I feel like one of the best ways to learn is from other people's experiences. Um,
100%.
yeah. So, the YouTube channel, the podcast stemmed from that. You know, Initially the YouTube channel was around, okay, let me share all this experience and knowledge that I know about self-improvement. Not coming from a point of being an expert, but just being someone who's done things that has helped them up throughout the many years and learned a couple of things, right? So you can think of it as like I'm just condensing a lot of knowledge and experiences for people.
Yeah, you're
Um,
always being a student. Always being a student.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And then Alpha Delta came was like, you know what? Like, I know a lot of people who are doing very inspiring and motivational things, but their stories aren't out there, you know. And the thing is, it's like people might watch my content, but then they're not be able to really relate to me, to my story, to my background, and things like that. So having different voices but are still connected on this theme of trying to be better, trying to grow, but they're doing those things in different areas of their life and different fields. That can be very, very motivational. So for anyone who's like, you know what, I want to get into finance, I really like Matt's vibe, his story is very similar to mine, this guy is a good role model for me, right?
No,
So
I agree.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it's really about. Yeah,
because there's a lot of people out there that don't have those resources, or like depending on like where you grow up, it's tough to find someone that
exactly,
you want to model yourself after and like kind of strive
exactly.
to be like that. And
Yeah.
it's
And the thing
crazy,
is,
like
like,
being in
another
that.
thing, it's like, also just what's the word I'm looking for? Is that term the anyway, to describe what I'm trying to explain. So, like, when you think of people like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, right? These are very inspiring people, but they seem very distant from the rest of the world. They
Mhm.
don't seem as
Yeah,
like they're in like a stratosphere
it's
that's
not
like
as
top,
it's
top, top,
not as
top, like
obtainable. It doesn't seem as obtainable. Yeah,
exactly.
like
You start thinking to yourself like these guys are normal, aliens. They're just in a league of their own. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
There can only be one richest person in the world, and that's
exactly,
very
they can
tough.
only
But
be,
there's millions and millions of millionaires.
exactly, right? There's not 500 billionaires, right? But
Mhm.
there's possibly 500 or more than 500 millionaires. But a lot of their stories aren't shared.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
agreed.
Yeah. So that's another thing that really motivated me. It's just like because me growing up, like I grew up being motivated by like the Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musk, all these guys, right? But I still didn't feel like I really connected with these guys. Um, so my hope is that with AlphaDelta, like a lot of people can just be able to connect a lot more better with the people that I'm interviewing, just based on their background and the experiences that they've had.
Great. Yeah. No, I love what you're doing too. It's motivating to myself as well, seeing like what you're
Appreciate
doing,
that.
putting out there content.
I really appreciate that. Awesome. So